Hello and welcome back to the channel for a very rare live stream today. We're joined by my good friend George from Watford FC News. George, long time no speak. How you doing?
Not bad. Very tired, but very looking forward to the next however long we're here.
Yeah, lots to talk about today. The transfer window has been quite quiet for Watford so far. A real lack of rumours, it's fair to say. But today, it's gone absolutely mental. But before we get on to that, we'll quickly talk actually about the Hansa Rostock friendly. Over 6,000 Hansa fans coming to Vicarage Road, George, the 25th of July in the summer, kickoff at 2 p.m. I mean, that is going to be an unreal atmosphere. There's probably going to be more German fans than Watford actually in the stadium. Are you looking forward to that one?
It'll be interesting to see how they interact with, because I remember this pre-season that's just gone, the Deportivo fans interacting with the mascot. I'll be interested to see how they do with that. And I'm pretty sure that's quite an allocation for a pre-season game. So it's a shame that we couldn't do the same at their place where we could have agreed that, because that would have been a great away day to do in Germany. But I mean, I can't say I've ever heard of them, but I'm sure it'd be a good game for them, because I'm sure there won't be many of us going. But no, it's fair play to them. That's quite a journey just for a pre-season game.
Yeah, it is, and it's to celebrate their 60th anniversary as kind of a formation of a football club. And yeah, I've had quite a few Germans in my DMs this afternoon asking me for the best pubs in and around Watford. So yeah, if you're a shop or a pub owner in Watford, prepare for thousands of Germans to descend upon your tap. So yeah, looking forward to that one. And hopefully, George, by the time that friendly takes place, we are a Premier League club. That would be the ideal scenario. As we said, lots to discuss on the transfer front today. If you are watching as well, don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments in the live chat. We'll be reading them throughout the stream. We'll start with the breaking news today, George. We got a here we go from Fabrizio Romano earlier today. Stephen Mfuni, a 17-year-old left-footed defender from Manchester City. Obviously, me and you haven't watched much of this guy, if any at all. What was your initial reaction when you first saw that reported?
Well, it took me 2 minutes. I was about 2 minutes late to the tweet. But when I saw it, I had to go to a good friend of mine who covers future ballers across the world. And he basically said it's very good, a big gamble for his age. And I think everyone can agree on that. It's just hopefully he is as good as Aline. But hopefully it pays off. And hopefully he doesn't get recalled by March. Hopefully it's not as short as it is for what Max had. So I'm looking forward to seeing what someone at 17 can do in the Championship.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Fabrizio mentioned that Watford and Manchester City now have kind of a good relationship after the Max Lane development that we did. He praised kind of Javi and Paolo Pezzolano for how we handled his time at the club. Is that something that could benefit Watford in the future? Do you think this kind of newfound kind of friendship we have between us and Manchester City, the amount of times, George, in the Premier League where we would get thumped 6 or 7 goals, and now it seems like both clubs are the best of friends. So yeah, that must be a positive to take from this season as well.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I mean, also in the media, Pep's been praising us for it, praising Javi and maybe a little bit of Pezzolano's trust in the youngster. Pretty much making him not a stonewall selection for Man City, but he's up there for now while the injuries are being eased back in. He's done well. He has had a couple slip-ups, but for someone his age, playing for the best team in the world, it's going to happen. Obviously, the fans are getting frustrated with him, but he's young. It's going to happen. He's playing for one of the best clubs in the world. There's competition. Gutted he couldn't stay. I was absolutely gutted. And I feel like we are feeling the hit of his absence. But some big boots to fill for Stephen. But we'll see. Hopefully, the relationship over the next couple of years will be quite beneficial for us. Fingers crossed.
I hope so. I hope so. They've got a good academy. And what does this deal mean, George, for kind of the other Watford defenders? We've got foremost Mendy, who we'll discuss a little bit later on. He's not been fancied at all by Javi Gracia. Kevin Caben, James Abankwa are both options as well. Matty Pollock out for a couple of weeks. Does Mfuni kind of come straight into the Watford team? It just seems a lot for a 17-year-old to be thrown straight into a side. If we're being honest, our aspirations are to challenge for promotion back to the Premier League. Would you expect him to start straight away potentially? He is left-footed, and we've been after someone in that position for quite a while.
We've got quite the injury issue in the defence. I don't know what's going on with Pollock. I also don't know what's going on with the quality of Kevin Keben. Has quite the drop-off from the start of the year when everyone was praising him for being however much money bargain he was, which is a shame because I actually quite liked Keben. It'd be interesting to see how Javi uses him if he wanted him. That's another priority because that seems to be an issue at the minute. Foremost Mendy as well will probably just further down the pecking order, but I don't want to rush him in. It's a physical league that we're in. It's a tough league. We're looking for that promotion places, but Valon Barami clearly sees something in him to look at signing him. It all depends on how Javi views it, and hopefully doesn't rush him in too quickly and ruins his chances.
Another defender we've been linked with quite heavily, and Valon Barami actually confirmed this in his press conference today. And yeah, apologies if I butcher this pronunciation. I'll get it right eventually. Saba Gok Lachizda. I think that's about right. I'm not too sure. An Udinese centre-back, 21 years old, a fellow Georgian international as well. He played a lot of games for Empoli before making the move to Udine. That's an interesting one, George. Right-footed, can cover right back as well. We know Javi doesn't fancy Jeremy Petry. Is that one you're more positive about? And certainly it looks like he would come into the team a lot quicker than maybe the Manchester City loanee.
I've seen a lot of praise from fans abroad for this person. I'm not going to try and attempt to say his name. I can't say I've ever seen him play. I don't know much about him, but hopefully it's something that, again, it hasn't been rushed. Yes, it's an Udinese signing. Everyone's going, another Udinese signing. Here we go again.
It is classic Pozzo, George.
Yeah, it is classic.
Are we meant to expect anything else in the January transfer window, really?
It's if I had Watford signing an Udinese player on my bingo card every single window, I think I'd win that every single time. I think we've got quite a handful of players in the past that have signed last minute to Watford from Udinese. Hopefully this one's a bit more successful than the ones in the past. But again, I can't say I've ever seen him play, but from what I've seen online, from fans abroad, from analysts, hopefully he's a perfect fit, and he's quite a tall defender as well. So hopefully that can be quite a good pickup from us.
As Ian says, Derek Payne on BBC Radio 3 Counties will have a fun time pronouncing his name. I mean, I've got to work on it, Ian, as well. I'm sure my pronunciation wasn't very good. So 2 central defenders coming in, George, it looks like. I'm sure they'll be announced by the club imminently. Valon also confirming today at the press conference that Javi would like a fullback in as well. Of course, Caleb Wiley was recalled to Chelsea. Mark Boller has played lots of football so far this season as well. Is that a priority position for you? Or actually, can you see the Man City loanee kind of covering that position if needed as well? Of course, he is left-footed as we discussed.
Yeah, I mean, again, I did see online again where people have said he can play left back, but I think his stronger placement is centre back. It'll be interesting to see because James Morris, I'll be brutally honest, isn't the greatest backup option to have. It's a massive shame that Caleb Wiley didn't work out either because I actually quite liked him. Quite a shame that he really didn't get a run in this year. I think he played maybe once and probably not for long either. It's a shame that the injury has told him to go back to London, basically. It'll be interesting to see how, again, Mfundi is utilised. Again, he's 5'11", if I'm correct, so do stand me corrected on that. So he would be perfect for left back, maybe not as tall for a centre back. But again, it'll be interesting to see how he is used. But I think having a look at some loans for a left back would be beneficial for Bowler physically and just as a whole for the team.
For sure. Absolutely agree with that. Again, there's a few kind of fringe Watford players who are on the verge of leaving potentially. Adam Jury at the Watford Observer reporting this afternoon that Pat Mendy has asked to leave to find more playing time elsewhere. There's a few other players as well, Pierre Duomo and James Morris, as you discussed in that bracket as well. Who do you think could leave before the deadline, George? When we look back at the summer transfer window, in hindsight, can that be viewed as a failure now because we recruited to kind of fill Paolo Pezzolano's system? He played a back five, 2 wing backs. Obviously, Formose Mendy was signed, Jeremy Petrie, Pat Mendy as well. Who can you see leaving out of that group that joined in the summer? And yeah, as I said, in hindsight, bar 1 or 2 players, would you view that, as a failure in terms of Watford's recruitment?
If we go back to our position in September when the window shut, roughly a successful window, because for our standards we wouldn't sign that many players of that quality at the time, so we were quite happy at the time for that. But obviously we've moved on to a different manager with a different system. It's not really working out. I can see foremost Mendy going. I think, again, I have seen online might be rumours he might be going.
That's just a bizarre deal, Formose Mendy. Can we just speak on him for a moment? Because, I mean, George, before we went live, we were talking about him, as you say, branded as the club's number 1, central defensive target. It's a Senegalese international. He was sought after by Premier League clubs, if you're to believe reports as well. And for one reason or another, he's just not been fancied by Javi Gracia. And the thing that I found most telling, actually, George, and I don't know if you agree here, was actually the Bristol City Cup game, him not featuring in that. And then also the Blackburn game, having the injury to Pollock as well. He wasn't even on the bench. So for me, that's got to go down as one of the most bizarre signings Watford have ever made. And for them to say that they still hold full trust in him is a complete lie. Like, surely it's a complete lie. I don't understand why they're continuing to push this weird narrative with us, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's been quite a weird situation with him, because I remember when he first signed, he wasn't featuring as much, and then all of a sudden it came out that he was struggling to adapt to England and family, stuff like that, which is fair enough. Players have that. It happens. Like, England is a bit of a rubbish place to live with the weather, so it's completely understandable. So it's a bit bizarre that we're in basically February on Sunday and he's only featured once, and he featured once at Portsmouth and played at right wing back. So for a number 1 centre-back target, it's quite bizarre that for what we wanted at the time has turned out to be a complete waste of time. So it'd be interesting to see, like I said, if he does go. It wouldn't shock me if he went. It's just a case of, will we replace him for something better or of similar quality that we might actually use?
Is that the reason?
I know.
It's been raining. Is that why Formose Mendy doesn't fancy England? The weather, do you reckon?
Well, he's just left Lorient for us, and I'm pretty sure Lorient is a nice place to live in France. I'm not sure. Someone stand me corrected on that.
I've never been to Lorient myself. I've got to be honest.
But going from Lorient to Hertfordshire, maybe, I don't know.
S. Bailey says, wasn't Formose on loan? Yeah, he was on loan, I believe, with an option to buy, actually, George. I think the option was between kind of £4 and £5 million, not 6 or 7 like some of you have been posting in the live chat today. Yeah, it's a weird one. I think for me, there's 2 central defenders coming in now. The guy from Udinese, the 17-year-old from Man City. Formose Mendy ain't getting he's not getting any games between now and the end of the season. Let's make that perfectly clear. I know there's been a few reports on personal and family issues with him as well. Obviously we don't have the details on the deal. There might not be a recall from Watford's perspective as well. So yeah, a really odd one. And yeah, I think that for everyone's sake, that loan should be terminated if we all used a bit of common sense. Just lastly on what was reported this afternoon, Adam Jury saying no striker will be signed by Watford, George. Is that something you wanted the club to do in January? I know a few fans were suggesting we should do on social media. You know, our group is quite young. Kiramgar, Doumbia, Semedo, all under 22 years of age. So, you know, if you had the option and you're in charge of the club, is that something you would have done?
I think putting a lot of trust in Luka Kiramgar and Vivaldo Semedo is quite a bold statement for what our aspirations are for the year. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Luka. I know a lot of people are a bit impatient with him, which is fair enough. I mean, we've had some awful strikers since Troy Deeney left 5 or 6 years ago. But it's a case of why are they not getting a new striker in? I'm pretty sure Javi wants a new striker in, and I think he's proving that by not really utilising Semedo, because I think he's also seen that he's not great. I would like to have seen how he would have put up with Vacuum Bio if he was still here, because I think he would have been shipped off immediately by the time he stepped in the door. So it's frustrating to read that we're not looking at a number 9 that can actually score some goals for a promotion side, because we haven't had something like that since 2015. With the absolute attacking force we had with Vidra, Forestieri.
Yeah, I think
Vicardo,
we're in
Deeney.
desperate need of like a Vidra type, Jules, someone to run off the shoulder and get him behind, because when you look at kind of Luka, Doumbia, Semedo, they're all very physical, hold-up type players, I would argue. And we haven't kind of got that pacey, like Adam Armstrong type player, just to stretch defenses, kind of a small man and get him behind. Maybe Iran Kunda could fill that role potentially. We have seen him used there a few times this season, but is that the profile you would go after if you had the option to?
I'm surprised they haven't tried to replicate it. I'm pretty sure they tried to in the summer. I'm pretty sure someone tried to mention, oh, look, we're trying to replicate this sort of thing. I'm pretty sure I also saw reports where the ownership were looking at trying to replicate a strike force of that caliber, but we haven't. I think we've had maybe 6 to 7 strikers in the past who've tried to replace Troy Deeney. It hasn't worked out great, and Troy Deeney's always been the first number 9 on everyone's squad list. So it's frustrating that we haven't tried to find a replacement striker long term, because obviously Rajovic didn't last very long. Bayo didn't last very long. Lasted longer than a lot of people thought he would. Pesetto was a 6-month.
Oh, George, you know, I will forever remember Ignacio Pesetto's goal line clearance against Spurs. Like, what a guy. What an absolute guy he was.
I was at that game. I'm pretty sure I was behind the goal for that. So I think that's the only memory we'll ever have for him.
He cost us loads of money, didn't he, as well? I'm sure Pesetto was like, wasn't he like 8 or 10 million pounds?
A lot of money.
So
it's just, and it was from Udinese, funny enough.
Yeah, so, what a surprise.
I'm seeing a recurring pattern here.
Yeah.
So it's a frustrating one, because if they're serious about promotion, surely number 1 on your list is a number 9 that can score goals, like your Mitrovics, your Tonys, your Deeneys, your Agardos. It's bizarre.
Very, very bizarre. Someone I know you love, George, one of your favourite players, Dan Bachmann. I'm joking. He's been linked. He has been linked with a move away today. It looks like this is all but done now, actually. And to be fair, for a League One club who are in a relegation battle at the moment, I do feel this is a real coup. He's joining Leyton Orient on loan until the end of the season. Clearly wasn't fancied at Deportivo La Coruña. I believe he was their 3rd choice goalkeeper in the end. And it's a massive fall from grace for Dan Bachmann, of course. In a couple of years ago, he signed that long-term contract with Watford. He was appointed the captain, and from that moment, really, it went very, very wrong for him. Look, George, I think in an ideal situation, Dan would be shipped off on a permanent transfer. But for him, on a personal level, surely this is a good thing, just to get some game time for the next 6 months and reassess his situation in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have been Daniel Bachmann's probably largest critic over the last 5 years. I think for him, Leyton Orient would be a perfect move for him, and for the club in general. That is a great signing. There's no saying that he's not great, but he has his moments where he is a good keeper. And I have said that, like last season, he had moments where we could have lost the game 5-6-7-0, and he did
George,
say
how
that like
many times
Leeds.
are we getting in 6-7 in today's
I'm
life?
just agreeing. I'm just agreeing.
Come
I'm
on.
just agreeing with this chat
Okay,
on my right
okay.
hand side. But however, my point still stands. There have been times in the past where we could have been down and beat by half time, and he
Yeah,
has saved
yeah.
us in the past. He's a good goalie, just not for the standard that we're looking for anymore. But for Leyton Orient, that's a brilliant signing. It's just a case of if he can get his head in the right game, because he can be a bit of a shouty man.
Yeah, I think like hot-headed is the way I would describe him. I remember Leeds away. Do you remember the clip that circulated on social media where he got sprayed with a sprinkler and then he just got absolutely rattled? I think it was Leeds away. He just got absolutely rattled by like the ground stuff, and he was like, "Oh, why have you done that? Why have you done that?" And I just thought from that moment onwards, like, this is not my captain. Like, this guy is not who should be leading this Watford team. So yeah, I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I've never met the bloke. I say that for every player, actually. But yeah, Bachmann to Orient, a good move, I feel. And yeah, hopefully he can get a permanent transfer away in the summer. And another player who might be joining Orient, George, is someone we discussed earlier, James Morris. It seems like that deal has been in the works since the summer, actually. Again, if we can ship Morris off, clearly he's not up to the standard we need in that position. You know, that's got to be a good move for everyone involved.
Yeah, for what we needed, because I remember we signed him under Claudio Ranieri.
Really, was it that long ago?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think it was just an academy to an academy deal. It wasn't much money, and he was brought in into the substitute benches, just sat there. Featured a couple of times. I think he featured at Leicester away. Did the job, I suppose. I mean, there wasn't really much going on because we were down and out by November. So I think he's been here too long. But again, for Leyton Orient, he's probably is a good pickup. I wouldn't say he's good enough for us. He's probably not even good enough for League One, but maybe the manager at Leyton Orient can get a good spring out of him. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a local move, isn't it? It's not like he's got to jump up ship and move hundreds of miles across the country. So yeah, as I said, I think that's good for everyone involved. Tyler says Morris versus Bristol. I never wanted to see him again after that performance. I think that's fair, Tyler. I think it's clear for everyone to see that Morris isn't up to the right standard. The only reason we've kept him on the bench this season, from what I understand, is just due to kind of the homegrown rules and regulations. We signed him from the Southampton Academy, if I remember correctly. And because we developed him at Watford and that he's an English player, he does contribute towards kind of that homegrown quota that you need in the Championship. So yeah, that's an interesting deal in itself. Hopefully that gets resolved for Morris in the next couple of days. Looking ahead to Swansea, George, they're 16th, 36 points, and two important games coming up for Watford. Actually, you've had a real dip in form in the past few weeks since Birmingham on New Year's Day, really. Swansea and Hull, of course, the Hull City game is our game in hand as well. I mean, they're both must wins, surely. How do you see them going?
I think they're two really big games for the sake of our push for playoffs, if that is our target, and also for Javi, because I mean, I'm not going to point the finger, but since that whole City game was cancelled, is that I think we all saw some sort of slip up coming from that moment. I certainly did. I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Can I just say, in the whole game, at least we never got to see Sissoko start. That was the one
blessing in
saving grace
disguise.
in that moment,
I was not looking forward to listening to BBC Three Counties Radio and having Jeff Doyle try to explain to me that Musa Sissoko is just trying to quote turn in the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on from that, hopefully the next two games we can get back to the form that we saw in the Christmas period, because we did look like a force that were looking to sneak their way into the top 6, maybe the top 3, because we were creeping up on Middlesbrough, Ipswich, even Coventry. I know Coventry are about 9 points at the time, but they were slipping up. So we were getting a little bit too hopeful. I'm just hoping we don't get too carried away again, as good as it was of a feeling. But I hope we get a win against Swansea. A good performance would be great as well in general. And who we got after that? I'm sorry,
Hull City. It's the game in hand.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get over that one over them for the complete waste of time back in at the start of January.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, George, Javi seems to have reverted back to the 4-4-2 in the past couple of matches, or a variation of that anyway. Kind of from back to front, what would your ideal Watford team be? We know obviously Matty Pollock is injured. Eduardo Beve is unavailable for the next 3 to 4 weeks from what we gather. So yeah, give us your kind of quick Watford 11, and we'll see if anyone agrees with you in chat.
Putting out pelters for this. Selvig in goal.
Okay, good start.
Ngeki on the right, not with the armband. Abankwah and I haven't got many options here, have we?
Well, yeah, exactly. The two new centre backs haven't signed yet. So yeah, would you go Kevin Caben, I imagine then?
It would unfortunately it would have to be Kevin. And then left back it will be Bowler. And then we'll go for a 4-2-3-1 because that was working. 4-4-2 doesn't work.
I know you're a big Kayembe fan, George. So I'm just wondering if Kayembe makes it into your midfield potentially.
I mean, am I the only one that thought that he wasn't that bad against Blackburn?
No, you know what?
He wasn't that bad.
Even if we forget about his goal, I actually thought he had a decent performance. So yeah, one of his better games in a Watford shirt, certainly.
Yeah, so we'll go Selvig, Abankwah, Ngakia, Kevin, and Bowler at the back, and then we'll go Loser and Kipriani.
Okay,
with
in there.
Chakvetadze in front of them. And then it won't happen, but I'd like to think it would happen. Iran Kunda and Bar. And then Kieran Guard up front. Okay. And then maybe in like the 75th minute, bring Tom Ince on because controversial opinion. He's a lot better off the bench than he is starting. Don't get me wrong, he did score a hat-trick, but it's Birmingham City.
I feel like this hat-trick has like blindsided the entire fan base. I'm being serious. Like, I love Tom Ince. I think he's a real good like professional and kind of a good leader for them young players. But I just find him like, I don't know what it is, George, but like he reminds me of like a ready salted pack of crisps. Like it's just dull.
Bland.
Do you know what I mean? It's just a dull player. Do you see what I'm saying? Like he does a job. But he's player.
He's not like a wild card, but he's like he does the job that gets given to him.
I mean, Jake says Ince is sexy to watch. I'm not sure if I
think sexy is the wrong word we're using here. I'll be brutally honest. But I've said it to people online. It's like he's a lot better. Like he's a lot better of a player coming off in the last maybe half an hour, starting and playing 90 minutes at what is he 34? It's not going to work. His legs are giving in by half time. I'd like to be proven wrong. Again, he probably will. But I think, and I'm sure there are a lot of people out there, he is a lot better off the bench for the last half an hour. And I feel like Javi doesn't realise that starting a 34-year-old for 90 minutes isn't working.
You went with Georgie Chakvetadze in your team as well, George. Obviously, we know what he can do. We know the talent he has. He's a real good ball carrier. And he does bring a lot to the team, but would you agree he has dropped off in form since he returned from injury? I think for me, we've been using the injury excuse for a bit too long now. I think we're past the point where we can say, he's still in his recovery phase. We still need to give him time. I think he's had enough games now where we can be judging him over kind of that 90-minute period. For me, he hasn't been producing enough. The opportunity he had away at Blackburn as well, he should have hit the target if we're being honest.
I have to look out my window for that one.
Yeah,
flying over. Yeah.
How long, would you persist with Georgie in your starting 11, or would you keep him on the bench as an option to bring on late?
It's a frustrating one to talk about because we know the quality that he has. I feel like maybe the fact that he hasn't really got a creative, clinical even striker in front of him, maybe, or maybe even the defenders in the opposition have figured him out from last year, because last year he was running riot, having links to Premier League moves. We know what he's capable of. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of players in the past where we know the quality they've got, but they're just not showing it. But again, he was out for 8 months and he was rushed. Wasn't rushed too much like Rocco Vasa's situation, but he was playing a lot for what the injury he had and for the recovery. I don't see who we can use in that middle of the pitch behind the striker. A Doumbia playing loan is a good shout.
I do. You know
really
what? I do like Doumbia in that 10. Like,
I
I
really
don't know if
do.
you watched the
Yeah.
Wrexham game, George, but away at Wrexham, he was really, really effective in that position.
Yeah, Sorry, I've just read Rio's pronunciation spelling of how I say. Yeah,
You
you're
know what?
hilarious.
You've always said it like that, George, haven't you?
Oh, was it Vatter?
Your eyes say Vatter, but maybe that's the working class. Me saying that. Like, George, you're a very posh guy. You speak well. So
Posh is not the word I'd use, but no. Well, if it wasn't for Rocco's injury last week, he would probably be in Chapatazi's spot. I know a lot of people are like, "Why would you play him down the middle?" I mean, we've got 3 of the best wingers in the league, and we're not using them.
Would you put Iran Kunda down the middle potentially as almost like a second striker, a false 9 type of player potentially?
I've seen a lot of people even say give Bar a chance.
Really?
Well, even a striker.
Yeah, he's certainly physical enough to do that.
Even if he runs off alongside, like if he wants to play the 4-4-2, at least give Kieran and Bar a go. Because all it will take is Kieran to attempt to win a ball, even though I don't think he's that type of caliber player to win the ball in the air, and let Bar do the physical work. But I feel like that's common sense at this point to try something. So I would like to see him try something new, but I think at this stage of the season, I think it's quite a risk to try something new.
Yeah. Score predictions, George, then. Swansea on Saturday, Hull on Tuesday. What are we thinking for these 2 games? Transfer deadline on Monday as well. Lots happening over the weekend. So I'll let you go first as you're the guest, but I've got to say, I think if Watford fail to win both of these games, the pressure will very quickly mount on Javi Gracia.
Jake, mate, if there was a ban button. Score for Swansea. Swansea been playing that well? I haven't really seen much of them this year.
16th in the league, George, 36 points. As someone said earlier, their striker Vipotnik does have a good record against us.
Oh, yeah, he does. I'll say 3-1 Watford.
Okay.
And then
I'm liking that.
Probably delusional on that one, but you've got to be. And then Hull away.
That's an opportunity for redemption, George, isn't it?
Yeah, my mind says a sloppy, boring, horrible 0-0 in the pouring rain. And an absolute disappointment of performance for the travelling fans. However, I'm going to go 1-0 Watford.
What are we calling this whole City game as well? Like, we had the Portsmouth Quadwo Bar derby. Are we calling this like the ice derby or like the frosted pitch derby because of what happened last time? I don't know. Like,
stung by the Hornets derby.
I feel like this definitely has an element of like we'll definitely be up for it more than we usually would be just because of the nature of what happened. So
15 minutes before kickoff derby. I'll give you, that's a good one.
That is a good one. Well done, Tyler. What am I going with? You went 3-1 Swansea. I'm going to be more
3-1 Watford. 3-1 Watford.
3-1 Watford. Yeah, 3-1 Watford. I think that's going to be a 1-1 at home, and for some reason, I think we get battered by Hull. I'm sorry. I'm usually very optimistic on these, but I just feel if that happens as well, like surely there has to be massive questions asked of Javi Gracia and obviously his utilization of kind of the wider squad players. So yeah, let's see what happens. I'll go 1-1 Swansea, and then I'll go over 2-0 Watford defeat away at Hull. Unfortunately, I'm hoping whoever's going to that whole game, by the way, George, will get some sort of compensation, whether that be kind of refreshments or food, because as you said, 15 minutes before the game, I mean, it was just a complete joke, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was on a late shift that day, so for me, I was sat in the van listening to BBC Three Counties Radio, and all of a sudden it went, "We think it's postponed, but they haven't said anything," and then they started waffling, trying to analyse that situation. So I was just sat there going, "Is it starting? Is it not?" And then as soon as I heard it postponed, I was like, "No, I'm happy. Didn't have to listen to Sissoko try and play football, so I was happy, but also quite annoyed because I had quite a good graphic for that game. So
Yeah.
we'll go again. Hopefully we get our revenge.
All right, we'll leave it there, George. Thank you very much for coming on. Thanks
Pardon, mate, that's foul. I'm tired.
Yeah. You've been up since 4 a.m, George, haven't you? So
I think I have an exception.
Yeah. Can you say Rocco Vata for us one more time?
Rocco Vata.
No, the other way. The other way.
No, Rocco Vata. George is about 6 or right. I think we end it there, James.
Yeah, we'll end it there, George. For those viewers who don't know who you are, where can they find you on social media? You're at Watford FC News on Instagram. Tell everyone about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm mainly you'll mainly find me on Instagram, Watford_FC News. I don't know if my name badge is down here. I don't know if you've selected that on, but
sorry, yeah, I turned that off by mistake.
That will be my. I mean, it will pop up there.
That's
my handle there.
There we are.
Basically, just the same old transfer updates of my best attempts. Busy now. I'm not 13 anymore. Match days, shocking opinions that people don't like. Just a good laugh. It's like if you like to follow, go for it. We hit 10k recently. That was my 8-year-long goal, so I finally hit that. But you'll mainly find me on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. Very rarely tweet. TikTok, I've lost my login. So
okay, fantastic. You don't want to be on there anymore, George. Anyway, It's gone downhill, that platform.
Yeah, I agree.
6 or 7. Okay, yeah, lots of 6 or 7 jokes in the live chat today. Absolutely,
mate.
Yeah. You know what, George? I don't really know where that originated from, by the way. Like, isn't it some kid at like a basketball game or something? I don't really know.
I've heard song kid in a basketball game.
Oh yeah, I heard the song thing as well. Yeah,
not a nice one.
Are you planning to get down to Vicarage Road at any time soon? You've not been since before
December.
Christmas,
as my last game was Norwich. Maybe I'm the lucky charm. Maybe that's why we are not winning.
Yeah.
So I apologise, guys. I'd like to try and get there this weekend, but it depends on the chances that I have of getting there. I haven't been. I wouldn't say I've been busy. I'm just lazy. I do apologise, guys. But we'll see. I mean, what's our next home game after Swansea?
I don't actually know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the calendar.
We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have
I'm not one of these people who like remembers like the next 10 fixtures. I've just never been that guy. We've got the home game this weekend. We've got 3 away games in a row. Hull City, Southampton, Preston away. And then we're at home to Derby County on Saturday, 21st of Feb. So, 3 p.m. kickoff, George. Get yourself down for Derby, maybe. I mean, you literally live about a 5-minute drive away. No excuses, my friend.
5 minutes a stretch.
Well, let's say 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll say that. On a broomstick, it might be quicker.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. If you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Go and follow George on Instagram as well. His handle is on screen now, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.